So people tend to forget stuff. We always forget stuff. We forget anniversaries, we forget dates, we forget to buy our girlfriend something, and then we get in trouble. Or we miss an appointment. So Text to Remind Me is a web application that will remind you of everything. You know, all your events. You go online, you set up your it's like a calendar. You set everything up and it'll remind you. It'll send you a friendly reminder via SMS messages. This way, you'll never forget anything anymore. You know, we have our closest competitors would be smartphone applications such as calendars, all those things. But the problem with those things is that you just tend to ignore them. You know, you put them on snooze or certain things like that. Text Remind Me will send you a text message. You know, it'll sound friendly. It'll address you by your name, which will increase the chances that you will listen to those reminders. What I'm asking for, or well, most better yet, this addresses a big problem because most people forget stuff all the time. You know, the market, initially we would try to start with tackling San Diego. San Diego has about 3 million citizens, you know, according to the census in 2010. And based on other statistics, 80% of the populations own a cell phone. So this is a big market to capture. We can expect that maybe, you know, we can tackle 40% of that 80%, which would mean about a user base of 700,000 people here in San Diego. This could mean that we have net income of about $500,000 the first year if it does succeed. You know, what I'm asking for is about $15,000. This would pay for web hosting costs and server costs, other things, just to keep everything, all the administrable expenses current. The rest would be marketing. Marketing, we would tackle maybe, you know, health services, which set up appointments regularly. This way they could contact all their clients about their appointments they have set up, and so they won't forget. The other thing we can do is go with schools. Schools set up, like Maricosa sets up appointments with students for counseling. You know, this way students will come in, and this way all the resources of other companies will be allocated adequately. You know, there will be no missed appointments, and this will increase the profitability and the productivity of other services. As of right now, I've already gotten the website started. You know, it's been in 3 months of development. Everything's working. It needs a little bit friendlier user interface, which is what I'm asking the money for, to invest in this product. You know, expand it more, make it better, make it more user friendly, and eventually expand it to mobile applications on cell phones, so that you don't have to wait to go to your computer and set up the appointments or your reminders. You can set it up from your phone. This doesn't just apply to smartphone users. This applies to conventional cell phone users. Anybody with a cell phone will be able to do it. Another aspect of this service. Sorry. Thank you.
So go ahead. You'll need to keep that for questions.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, Ivan, I think this is a terrific idea, and simply because I live my life by Microsoft Outlook reminders. When I turn my computer on in the morning, it lights up like a one-armed bandit in a casino. As far as the number, I have over 180 reminders in my Outlook database, and if contact doesn't tell me what to do during the day, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. But it's on my personal computer. It doesn't come to my phone. So as a business proposition, I think you got a great idea. I actually I went to your website this morning. And my only comment is I wanted to explore it, and I couldn't without providing personal information, so that was kind of a turnoff. So you might want to think about that.
Yes.
There should be a way to read about what Text to Remind Me is about without having to give up your email and to start with.
Yes. To address that, the reason why it's set up like that right now is because I was testing it. You know, I just added a small about us into that thing yesterday. And yeah, it's definitely an expansion. I've been working in, you know, free time, maybe an hour a week.
Well, I actually hacked it and read the about.
Thanks.
I did read that this morning.
Thank you.
You might want to talk to this other team about security.
Yes, that's another big thing that I need to.
Ben, I think, I'm sorry.
I live in the same world. I mean, I think we all do. You get these reminders from your smartphone or your computer, and then I get a reminder, I click on it because I'm busy doing something else, and then I forget about it because the reminder's gone. One thing you might think about is to make it interactive. Either you text back and say, I did that, in which case the application takes it off the agenda, And if you don't, it reminds you again in 2 hours. Because I sit in a meeting, I get a reminder to do a phone call, can't do it. I click on dismiss because that's what I do, and then the thing is gone and I forget about it.
Yes. A quick comment about that. That was actually the fundamental of my idea. You know, I wanted to text a phone number that will text me. I could ask them a question, be like, "What am I doing next Thursday?" And they'll actually text you back, be like, "Oh, this is what you have planned," or you know, you don't have anything going on this weekend or whatever, and that could set you. Yes.
If you text back, it's done. Then you can take it off the
Yes.
agenda, or it reminds you again. I think that would be would.
That's
I'd change the name of the company to NAG.
Tyler.
I just have a question. Have you done any research to find out if there's other companies in the space?
I haven't really found anything yet. Although I was told a little bit earlier that you know, maybe my biggest competitor would be Facebook, since they have they can easily send out notifications, but it's not the same deal.
Well, I would invite you to dig a little deeper, because I get a text message to remind me of my dentist appointments.
Okay.
And I know a couple of people who work for companies that do this for people, and I think it's actually could be a great service. It's a great nag. I mean, with the dentist appointment, if I don't respond, I get another one. So it's very good for them. It does do, I think you did a good job of talking about the benefit to your customer. I think you've thought that thing through very well, and I think what you should do for your own sanity is look a little deeper and see if you can find out who the competing companies are.
Yeah, I think, let me disagree with Tyler on just one minor point.
Very
You-
risky to do that.
Yeah, I know. You described two very distinct kinds of customers market. You started out talking about individuals,
Yes.
and you ended up talking about selling to
Businesses.
dentist's office or organizations, right? And those are very different feature sets, very different marketing propositions, very different sales cycles. And the big thing that you haven't talked about at all is how you're going to make money from this. How much are you charging? Who's paying you, and why are they doing that? When they have lots of other alternatives, I can get a lot of this for free on Outlook or Google Calendar or similar kinds of services.
The reason why I have basically two customers would be that the personal user could maybe have a fairly free.
Yeah, I recognize that you have to.
Yeah.
Trying to point out to you that you need to
It would basically be
think
paid
about
by.
them differently.
It would be paid by the companies, other companies. Basically, what I've come down to, it would be $2 per user per year.
For either kind of
Yes.
customer?
Yes.
So if I wanted to sign up for you, it would cost me $2 a year?
Yes.
Uh,
I've looked at fixed costs with it.
Okay.
It's kind of.
You have to think about how much it's gonna cost you to take the credit card for $2.
Thank you for that. Yes. About that.
I'm sort of with Tyler on this. You really need to look a little deeper. All of my calendars are synchronized, so I've gotten away from Microsoft. I don't use anything Microsoft anymore. But my iPad gets notified, my smartphone, it's not even an Apple phone, but they all get notified because of things in my calendar.
Yes.
And I can click on, what I liked about that is, and I wasn't sure I would see that, is when I click on the event in the calendar, I have all the information I put into it. So if there's contact information, if there's a map of the area, I can have all that stuff there. When I read your profile the other day, I thought that maybe the difference was you were going for a different demographic of people that maybe are not using those kinds of business tools, that were more of a personal nature, of which I could see much better.
Yeah. I think that's what I was initially heading for. Though I think I was heading towards other businesses because that would provide a big financial support for.
Yeah, $2 a year is nothing. I mean, if you know, as a matter of fact, $10 a year is nothing. A lot of things you sign up for. As long as you can talk about what's the incremental value to the end user, then you can do it. But you got to be able to explain that value.
Okay, we'll pull the plug on that one. Great job.